Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Program Director, Ms. Tami Nkadimeng, I'd like to acknowledge you. The CEO of Nkadimeng Group, honorable guests, we had expected the former mayor of the city of Johannesburg, the first executive mayor, to have joined us. I think he's still on his way. Former Mayor Amos Masondo. Let me also acknowledge the guests, though she's still on her way, the Minister, Deputy Minister of Forestry and Fisheries and Environment, Ms. Bernice Swart. Acknowledge the MEC, or the member of the Executive Council of Gauteng, Member Mary Peters. I do acknowledge you, MEC. We're also expecting the chairperson of the South African Local Government Association, Councillor Dlabati, but would like to acknowledge the presence of Councillor Kinalemang Pukunzi from Salka, who's here, responsible for the National Working Group on Environmental Planning. Deputy Director, Ms. Tina Fahanan, Dr. Babangana, and Simon Borilli from the Food and Agriculture Organization, the head of the Kenya Country Program for United Nations Habitat, Ms. Nosipo Kanyile, we acknowledge you. University of Namibia and Imperial College of London, Dr. Jessica Thorne, the Executive Mayor of Tshwane, who was supposed to have joined us, Councillor Nosipo Moya, and acknowledge the Executive Mayors who are here, Executive Mayor from Gambia, from Zambia, the youngest mayor possibly in the whole African continent, Mayor George Mwanza, the mayor of Matola, the mayor of eThekwini, the mayor of Dakar. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask the mayors just to stand up so that we can see our African mayors who are here with us. Indeed, mayors have a very difficult job, far difficult than that of the presidents. I woke up this morning to try and resolve the traffic lights just on Winnie Mandela this morning. So mayors never get the time to rest. So I welcome you, mayors, and I know that you had to leave your cities to attend this important conference, and a lot is happening in your cities as you are here. So we acknowledge your presence. Traditional leaders and academics who are present here today, we also welcome you. And it is important for us to have invited traditional leaders to be part of this engagement, because we thought it is an important thing so that we engage traditional leaders on the use of medicines and thus affecting some of our forests. And how do we collaborate to ensure that whilst we develop traditional medicine, we also do not affect our forests. And that is why traditional leaders are here. And as we move along, traditional healers has also been invited to form part of this conference. Chairperson Ms. Tenjiwe Moya and members of the board of the Johannesburg City Parks and Zoo, I acknowledge you. Distinguished presenters who are also here, delegates and organizers, I acknowledge you. Let me also acknowledge my colleagues in the mayoral committee, Councillor Nkonko, who's responsible for the Johannesburg City Parks and Zoo, and acknowledge our member of the mayoral committee responsible for finance, Councillor Margaret Arnolds, and all those other members of the mayoral committee will be joining us throughout the day and throughout the conference. Good morning and a warm welcome from the city of Johannesburg. It's an honor to stand before you today at this second Africa Forum and Urban Forest held and hosted in the great city of Johannesburg. I would like to acknowledge our esteemed program director once more, Program Director Taming Kadimeng, and all our distinguished panels and guests. It is a privilege to have such a remarkable group of leaders, policymakers, experts, and shareholders with us, including stakeholders and including our valued representatives from international organizations such as the Food and Agriculture Organization, the UN Habitat, the South African Local Government Association, the South African Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment, and the Gauteng Department of Environment, and many generous donors and sponsors, including amongst the Absa Bank that has made a significant contribution. Your expertise and commitment to advancing the cause of our urban greening have not gone unrecognized and are vital to future-proofing of our cities. Your participation from all corners of our beautiful African continent and beyond reflects a shared commitment to creating a more sustainable and livable African cities. This forum is a powerful reminder of the importance of collaboration, the exchange of ideas and forging of solutions that will shape the future of urban forests and green spaces across the African continent. The need for urban forests and green spaces has never been more urgent as we confront the growing challenges of climate change, rapid urbanization, and environmental degradation. Urban forests are not just about planting trees. They are about creating sustainable ecosystems that enhance the quality of life for our people and our residents, boost biodiversity, and mitigate the impacts of climate change. Cities across Africa are growing at an unprecedented rate, and urban greening is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity and it is a must. For Africa, this forum represents an opportunity to lead global discussions on sustainability. And as one of the continents most acutely affected by climate change, our urban forests are indispensable in building resilience and developing strategies for adaptation. Africa cannot remain on the sidelines of global conversations. We must be at the forefront, driving solutions unique to our continent's challenges and opportunities. In hosting this forum, we send an unequivocal message to the world. Africa is ready to lead in creating green, resilient cities that will endure for generations to come. Africa's forest, nature reserves and parks are vital for mitigating the environmental impacts of urbanization. They are also untapped assets that drive economic growth, create jobs, and reduce poverty. By utilizing these green assets more effectively, we can stimulate sustainable industries, improve livelihoods, and create more inclusive economic growth. This is a critical step towards addressing the historical imbalances in the greening of our cities. It's about moving beyond past challenges to create environmentally sustainable, economically prosperous, and socially equitable cities. Through urban greening, we can chart a new course, a course for Africa that leads to a greener, more sustainable, and more equitable future for all our people. We are here today, delegates, because we share a common goal to take collective action in addressing the environmental and economic challenges facing our cities. Your presence and active participation today demonstrate your recognition of the gravity of this task. I urge you to leave this forum with not only new knowledge and ideas, but also concrete, actionable solutions that can drive meaningful change in your cities across the continent. I call upon each of you to take the inspiration, insights, and connections you gain here today and transform them into the real world impact. Madam Chairperson, I want to highlight the City of Johannesburg unwavering commitment to climate action. In March 2021, the City of Johannesburg approved the Climate Action Plan, which underscores our dedication to the objectives of the Paris Agreement. The Johannesburg's Climate Action Plan's primary objectives include achieving carbon neutrality and building climate resilience by 2050. Our plan lays out clear milestones from short-term targets in 2030 to medium and long-term objectives in 2040 and 2050. This effort aligns with the national strategy outlined in South Africa's new Climate Change Act, the Act of 2024, which mandates municipalities like ours to develop and implement climate change response plans every 5 years. These efforts, such as our President's call to action to plant 10 million trees over the next 5 years, ensures that our responses are both coordinated and impactful. As part of this commitment, urban forests and greening spaces are an integral part of our climate action plan. They help combat heat waves, flooding, and other climate-related challenges. We do have imbalances in our city, in areas such as Soweto, Alexandra, and Ivory Park, and Diepsloot, where the urban heat effect is most pronounced. Urban forests are therefore essential for reducing heat stress and improving the quality of life for our residents. We are committing ourselves as the City of Johannesburg to implement a more aggressive program to plant trees in the townships that I've spoken to. We are already implementing this plan through projects such as the Joskei River Rehabilitation Project, funded by C40 Cities, GIS, and the Scaling Urban Nature-Based Solutions for Climate Adaptation. The project is also supported by Global Affairs of Canada. These initiatives focus on restoring vital ecosystems, removing invasive species, and expanding green infrastructure to enhance resilience to climate change. Furthermore, our partnership with Copenhagen, formalized through the Johannesburg-Copenhagen Memorandum of Understanding in February 2024, is a key part of our climate resilience strategy. Drawing on Copenhagen's success in urban flood prevention and heat wave mitigation, we are transforming the Moroka Dam in Thokoza Park in Soweto into a model for flood resilience and climate adaptation. Johannesburg's comprehensive climate action plan drives all these initiatives, and we are committed to continuing with this work as we move forward. The African continent must become self-reliant and effectively harness our abundant green resources to address environmental and socio-economic challenges. Distinguished speakers, delegates, moderators, let us work together as African cities and leaders to become the thriving force in global push for sustainable urban development. Let us harness the power of our green resources to build self-sustaining cities, address past imbalances, and leave a lasting legacy of resilience, prosperity, and green progress for future generations as part of the second African Forum on Urban Forest being hosted for the next 4 days here in the city of Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.